Hey guys, Akio Murasaki here. Today we have some anime-related news straight from Anime Corner here. Apparently Netflix and MAPPA have announced a new strategic partnership, which is going to drive their joint efforts towards global anime development and distribution. And I initially thought, it's probably not a big deal, because Netflix and also Disney Plus have distribution rights for a ton of anime, both in the West and in Japan. And it's just like a licensing thing, They buy the license from the studio or from the distributor locally in Japan, and they get to show the anime, obviously localized, obviously with subtitles, or even worse yet, dubbing. But they get to show them in the West. No, here we are talking about co-production, so not only global distribution, but also co-production. And this is absolutely a massive deal. If you guys don't know anything about MAPPA, it's one of the bigger and most prominent Japanese anime studios. It's done Jujutsu Kaisen, it's done Chainsaw Man, Dororo, also Zombieland, and a ton of other titles. The latter half of Attack on Titan, yes, you're welcome, and has earned a reputation for pushing creative and production boundaries. You know what other boundaries it's been pushing recently? The working condition boundaries. Yeah, there's been some complaints, obviously, from the employees at MAPPA that the working conditions are not very good. And there was, of course, a response from the president and producer, Hasegawa Hiroya, who, talked a little bit about work styles, mentorship, and keyword here, work-life balance. Yes, as production scales globally. I don't think here specifically in this context scaling globally has anything to do with it, but it has to be said that the work conditions in Japan are pretty bad sometimes, and especially when it comes to animation studios. From what I learned, not only by watching anime about making anime, but also kind of following the industry a little bit, sometimes the schedules are kind of like on a weekly rotation, that every episode is made weekly and you have collaborations across different departments within the studio. So it's really chasing deadlines after deadlines, and it's also managers and editors who need to make extra sure that things are going to be released on time. It's gruesome, I would even say. It's very painful to work for an anime studio in Japan. So Hiroya Hasegawa decided to address this because there's been complaints from the employees at MAPPA as well, obviously. But what I want to focus on here is a couple of things. But first off, Netflix had already exclusive distribution rights to other productions like Kakegurui Twin, the 2024 reboot of Ranma 1.5, and the 2025 adaptation of The Rose of Versailles. So there's been collaboration between MAPPA and Netflix before, but again, this was just a distribution collaboration. What is the other important thing? The other important thing is what the MAPPA president and also the VP of content at Netflix, this is interesting, Sakamoto Kata, I was a Japanese person, I was not aware. Anyway, they've been in talks about this whole situation, and some key details here. This strengthened partnership reflects our long-held vision of MAPPA as a self-reliant studio on both creative and business fronts. Amazing, great, love to see it. Japanese animation studios should lead with global perspective. Terrible idea, please don't do it, horrible, never ever, don't do it at home. From planning and development to international reach and related business ventures. We're committed to working closely with Netflix to build a long-term win-win collaboration. So I like 75% of what he said, but unfortunately what really bothers me here is the international reach and global perspective. For an anime studio making anime products made in Japan, terrible idea. Please don't ever do this again. Some have tried in the past, and why does it not work? Well, the answer is very, very simple. If you are making a uniquely Japanese product, it's going to find appeal in the West among people who like Japanese products. Now, if you try to make it westernized, if you try to appeal to global audiences, you're going to make a global product. And not only do you compete with other global products, you also have to, you have to toe the line. You have to, bend over a little bit to align with global standards. And these so far have shown a lot of sanitation, a lot of censorship, and have been just in general incredibly underwhelming. And I can also tell from the comment here from the VP of content at Netflix which parts are important. Global reach, obviously we know Netflix is global reach. You want to be everywhere. This is pretty clear. But we're excited to deliver new stories, fresh expressions, and impactful experiences to audiences worldwide. Well, that is quite obvious because Netflix's offerings recently have been dog shit. I'm going to be honest here. I've looked at Netflix recently and most of the series are just plain boring. And not only are they boring, they're kind of samey and in general meh and mediocre. Now here comes anime. Anime is just so much better. It offers a fresh, foreign, completely different perspective on problems, on life, on things that we can agree, disagree with, on certain things that we might find familiar. Now, anime is only able to do it if it remains Japanese. If you try to pursue the global perspective and global audiences, you will end up making a mediocre global product. And that is it for now for these news from me, and I see you guys in the next one. Mata ne!